Whoa, Nelly! Keith Jackson used to always use that phrase when he was calling college football, and that's probably what he would have said last night if he was calling the House Oversight Committee game last night between the donkeys and the elephants. I know you were up late because, see, a lot of them Trumpers, they were down in New York City looking like some damn fools standing there defending Donald Trump. He was in court. So the committee, they actually got to work late last night, and damn, clearly some folks needed some sleep. Really?
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What? Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman, would you engage the order of your committee?
Order.
Please.
There's a point of order.
We have a point of order. Mr. Lynch, state your point.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to ask the parliamentarian if your conduct here in raising money in connection with this hearing is referable to the Ethics Committee within this hearing. Is a motion in order to refer your conduct and your abuse of
It's not a point of order.
I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aww.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Baby girl? I don't think
we are going to move, and we're going to take your words down.
I second that motion.
So who will have to pay us? Okay. All right. We're suspending.
Absolutely not.
I don't know. It's crazy. It's great.
No, we're taking her words down. No way is that being allowed. He has to retract. Absolutely not. Absolutely.
So she agrees to it. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be over.
Not today.
Yeah.
Not today.
I gotta find some place.
Ms. Greene, do you wish to strike your words?
I have 4 minutes and 21 seconds to speak.
I think we have to do the motion first, and then unless there's another motion, then you'll be recognized again. But I believe there's another motion coming. So will you agree to strike your words?
Yeah, I'll
Okay. Ms. Greene agrees to strike her words.
I believe she
Chair
apologized. No.
Okay, hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms. Greene
I'm not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then you're not striking your words.
I am not apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman, the minority.
It's pretty self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
Out of order.
You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike the.
I move to strike the lady's words.
The lady's words again.
That's 2 requests to strike. That's 2 requests to strike.
Oh, they cannot take the words.
There's another motion to strike her words again. Please.
All right,
Get
okay,
your members under
here's
control.
the correct apology. Ms. Greene, do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll strike my words, but I'm not apologizing.
Without objection.
Not apologizing.
Reserving the right to object.
Chairman, I
reserve the right to object.
Mr.
I
Perry.
reserve the right to
Mr.
object.
Chairman, I move that Mr. Goldman's words and Ms. Ocasio-Cortez's words be stricken.
Okay.
Which words? And you have to do it contemporaneously. Object. The objection must be contemporaneous, and they haven't spoken in 10 minutes.
Nobody's spoken in 10 minutes.
Well, that's right. Therefore, defeating your proposal.
You all have.
Now the chair recognizes Ms. Greene for 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Who's
It's me.
Ms. Crockett?
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's a part of the.
I'm trying to find clarification on what qualifies.
Chairman, motion to strike those words.
I had no idea what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just.
You just voted to do
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do. So I'm trying to get
Ms. Crockett,
clarification.
you're not recognized. Ms.
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your yelling.
You don't want
calm
me to
down.
No,
Can you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look, Chairman, can we
come
send
and
her
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
All right, Chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
recognizes
Not cute.
Ms. Greene for 4 minutes and 21 seconds. 4 minutes. Let Ms. Greene talk, and then you all can. I'll recognize.
But I moved to strike her words for a second time based on her second set of personal remarks attacking another member.
Who?
Chairman Comer.
Because you all cannot
I have an
seem
amendment at
to
the desk,
apply
and this
the rules
sideshow
of the
needs to
committee.
stop.
We have to do this every time.
Okay, I'm recognized. I'm recognized. I'm going to go ahead and start talking.
Look, I know. Look, I don't know if you noticed it. I have 2 hearing aids. I'm very deaf. I'm not understanding. Everybody's yelling. I'm doing the best I can. Can we not recognize Ms. Greene and let her
We
get?
cannot because of the rules of the committee, Mr. Chair. That is what I'm trying to communicate in the present moment.
We have a Okay, what's the motion?
The motion is to strike the gentlelady's words for the second set of remarks, not the first, the second.
She
that
has
applied
no
to
idea.
me.
She has no idea.
Anna moves first.
I think, Mr. Chairman, I'm the only one recognized right now.
We objected at the time.
Will the member state the word she wishes struck?
She told me, or she asserted that I was not intelligent. These are the specific words. We can have it read by the clerk.
It was made immediately.
And it was made immediately. I am not moving now.
I don't think it was
I am not
timely.
moving
It was made immediately, both by the gentlelady and by me.
Mr. Chair,
look.
it was made immediately.
It was made immediately,
and you
both
said
by
that
the
you would
gentlelady and by
return
me.
to us.
Guys,
She said, you don't have the intelligence to talk to me, is what she said.
the chair recognizes Ms. Greene for 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, what is happening with the
I
ruling?
object to the ruling now.
We must object.
I mean, if you want to take it up.
Oh, suck it. What did she actually, did she say? Matter of fact.
Bleach Blonde.
Bleach Blonde, bad built,
Butch body.
I got it written down. It's going to be on a T-shirt very soon.
It's already posted on my social media. The African history.
I saw.
Got it.
Hold on. I saw this tweet today from my man Wesley Snipes. He says, subtly, go to my iPad, I like Metro Boomin to make a beat with Bleach Blonde, bad built, Butch, and body in the beat.
Today's show has been brought to you by the letter B.
Today's show's been brought to you by Clorox. Kelly, it was a little crazy there, Kelly.
I'm here for. I think she should have taken it a step further, because for me, after all of that, I would have been like, bitch, because what you're not going to do is come for me when I didn't send for you. That's what we're not going to do. We're not going to have that kind of decorum in the House of Congress when I didn't even call for it. I was out here minding my business, representing the great state of Texas, and you coming over here talking about eyelashes that you need, not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the alliteration for me. It was the restraint for me, because it was clear that she could have taken it a step further and she didn't. Because if it were me, I probably would have not been in Congress anymore. There would have been, some slow singing and flower bringing. I'm not going to hold you.
That was delicious, Michael.
Not delicious.
That was delicious. That was delicious.
I watched it earlier today, and Marjorie Trailer Park Trash Greene, I think she bit off more than she could chew. she opened up a can of whoop ass. She couldn't put the lid back on. But this dysfunction, I want people to really understand what's going on. This dysfunction and Republicans being in control of the House of Representatives and all the committees. That's why Representative James Comer of Kentucky is the chairman of this committee. It's the result of about 7,000 votes over a handful of House races in 2022. That's why Republicans are in charge. That's why in 2023, they only got 27 bills passed in the House of Representatives, whereas in 2022, when Democrats were in control of the House, they got about 300 bills passed. They have still not passed a budget. They have still not passed a fiscal year budget. They're on there. I think their third continuing resolution. Yeah, I think it's their third continuing resolution. This is the dysfunction. This is how elections have consequences. You can't get bills passed that are meaningful to us because of BS like this and simple Simon-ass people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Comer doesn't even understand the rules of the committee. He's the chairman. Okay? These people are not built for leadership. It's easy to just say no and vote no on everything when you're in the minority, like Republicans were. Now, when you have to govern, they're showing they cannot govern. This is why 2024 November is so crucial.
Yo, I just sat there and it was crazy. You know what? Here's Matt. If I'm Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, my Congresswoman. From the great state of Texas, if I'm her, the next time the House Oversight Committee meets, if I was her, I would walk into the committee room and I would say, "Comer, give me my theme song."
Okay, all right. I'm continually surprised on this show because
I'm telling you. No, go ahead and turn the audio up. Leave it on the pad, turn the audio up. Just the audio.
Shit, I was on my third dance. Nigga, what you think I can just run up in here, snap my fingers, and make these motherfuckers throw their money at me? Nigga, I ain't even made payout yet.
Walk that trick, walk that trick, walk that.
Hey, I'm just saying, you go have a theme song, I would say, Comer, give me my theme music.
Well, I love that you're King Petty and you leaning in because that gave me a good laugh. But I want to say, you know, when I watch this show, I often look at the comments from our brothers and sisters on YouTube. And somebody named Riz B said exactly what I was thinking. They said, look at this shit. These are lawmakers. And Michael kind of alluded to it. But when I watched this, it was funny. I love Jasmine Crockett. I think she's brilliant. I think she is outspoken. And I think that she is important, right? Because not only is she outspoken and she's brilliant, but she doesn't always say things the way they want to hear it, but she never sacrifices the truth. And I appreciate that. But as a citizen, this kind of thing infuriates me. They can't even figure out how to keep the government open half the time. They can't pass bills. And this dog and pony show that they engage in, really, to me, I mean, not Jasmine Crockett, because it was obviously reactionary to what Marjorie Taylor Greene said. But Marjorie Taylor Greene in particular, it's so much now about the pageantry that it's not about leading. And even if I were in her district, it would infuriate me because I would feel like you're more about sound bites than you are making sure that the port comes to our district to make sure we have what we need. And while this is funny, it is also, it portends really a horrible trend that we're seeing in our politicians. And I want to kind of speak on this because I'm sure you did this on the show yesterday. I didn't get to watch it. But Greg Abbott pardoning Sergeant Daniel Perry is like one of the most gross tyrannical decisions I've seen in a very long time, and it is purely ideological. And the point with that is this: what you're seeing politicians these days do is just play for sound bites and clicks. And that's what this is about. I mean, we're talking about in the House chamber. But what's really insidious about this is that you see what very often happens to black people and to black women when a white person particularly says something offensive, throws a rock, hides their hands, and then the goalpost moves, and now they're the ones upholding the rules of decorum, right? And, oh, you can't say that, and this, we got to do it the right way. I mean, that is horseshit. The idea that you would call somebody out about their physical appearance when it's not in any way germane to what's going on, and then try to act like you get to control how she responds to that is offensive. And that's something that people deal with all the time of all walks of life. But it's especially ridiculous to see it in people whom we pay to make the decisions that control our lives and who are continuously less able to do that because they're playing political games. So this is a problem because we shouldn't be dealing with this. You should be figuring out how to make our healthcare cheaper, and you should be figuring out how to keep the government open. But instead, you're engaging in this kind of chicanery.
There were some other moments during the hearing, and this is courtesy of Congressman Jared Moskowitz.
Chair recognizes Mr. Moskowitz.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right, so welcome to Oversight After Dark. If you love James Comer at 11 o'clock in the morning, you're really going to love him at 8:30 p.m. So, members, the hearing was moved today. We don't have to ask the question. The hearing was moved today so that members could go to New York and attend the Trump hearing. But how's he doing? He's complained that he's chilly in the courtroom. Is it chilly? Is it chilly?
Will the gentleman yield?
No, I'll assume it's chilly.
He's doing very good.
Okay, good. So, it was mentioned by the ranking member about really what we're doing here. You don't have to listen to my words. I would like to do a spirited reading of the campaign email sent out by the chairman. And it's on lovely stationery. In fact, it says, from the desk of the oversight chairman. I'm not sure you can do that, but I'm not an ethics expert. It says, friend. President Biden is exerting executive privilege in a last-ditch attempt to stop the disastrous audio recording of his interview with special counsel from being released. And it's highlighted in yellow. Want to make sure people saw that. Just a few months ago, the White House bragged that Joe Biden had nothing to hide and would not exert executive privilege during special counsel Hur's investigation. They even said he had nothing to hide. That's in italics. Now Biden and his advisors are terrified that I, James Comer, will release the recordings, forcing the media and the Democrats to answer for the dismal decline of Biden's mental state. He even had attorney Merrick Garland write a letter saying that his interview falls within the scope of executive privilege. This could be the final blow with swing voters across the country. Okay. You and I know, hold on, we're not done, it gets better. You and I know he's not up for the job, but the mainstream's media refusal to report on it as only keeping him in the game. Stand with Comer. The Democrats, you sure about that? The Democrats are pulling out all the stops to stop the bleeding. That means coming after me with everything they had. If you're able, we hope you are, I'd be so grateful if you'd consider making a donation to my campaign. I sure need it to defend against the onslaught of attacks. Thank you for everything. James Comer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee. Without objection, I'd like to enter that into the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
All right, beautiful.
Now, that's what's a trip. Here you got Comer sitting there, and he's fundraising off of it. They ain't got no proof of nothing. They ain't. And then you talking about you want to hold Merrick Garland in contempt when that fool Jim Jordan is sitting right there on the committee, and his punk ass is still in contempt more than 700 days later.
Yes. This is the dysfunctional Republican Party that cannot govern. We have to understand how important it is to vote incompetent people out of office, especially Republicans. If you have incompetent Democrats, run somebody better, replace them also. But this is dangerous. And Kelly mentioned, I think it was Kelly who mentioned health care. Donald Trump is saying he will repeal the Affordable Health Care Act if he's reelected. Now, 41 million people have signed up for the Affordable Health Care Act. It's more commonly called Obamacare. It's more popular than ever, okay? And if you want to know the damage that Donald Trump can do, even if he doesn't repeal it, if you go back to 2016 when he was president, in his administration, he cut the amount of funding for marketing the Affordable Health Care Act, okay? Making people aware that they could register for it. They cut the funding by 90%. The amount of time that you had to apply for the Affordable Health Care Act, they cut that amount of time in half. This is just the damage that he can do without legislation going through Congress. All right. And they have been consistently talking about repealing and replacing the Affordable Health Care Act, but they have nothing that they can replace it with that they agree with. OK, this is dangerous. So we have to understand what's at stake in 2024. This is more about this is not about Biden versus Trump. This is about all these other policies and the trajectory of this country and the future. And one of the most important things, U.S. Supreme Court and the federal bench, lifetime appointments.
You know what? I think I still feel a little extra petty.
Of course you do.
I do.
Of course you do.
I do. And so somebody posted this on social media, this graphic here. Come on, pull the graphic up. Come on, pull the graphic up. The graphic. Pull the graphic up. Thank you very much. This probably will be the album cover. My digital girls created an AI song that I think y'all gonna love. Just go ahead and bring the panel back, bring all four of us back, and go ahead and play us the name of this song. Kelly, what is it? Bad Built, what is it? Bleach Blonde.
Bleach Blonde.
No, hold on, y'all ain't doing it right. Ladies and gentlemen, here to present the new hit song. Kelly, what's the new hit song?
Bleach Blonde, Bad Built, Butch Body.
Hit it.
Bad built frame, bad built frame. Bleach Blonde, Butch, better shut your trap, ain't got no game. Bleach Blonde, Butch, bad built shame, bad built shame. Whole lot of frontin', whole lot of frontin', all in my lane. Bleach Blonde, Butch, Bleach Blonde, Butch, Bleach Blonde, Butch, bad built frame, bad built frame. Bleach Blonde, Butch, Bleach Blonde, Butch, better shut your trap, ain't got no game. Bleach Blonde, Butch, Bleach Blonde, Butch.
You all right, Kelly?
Yeah.
And you said that was AI?
Yes. Hit it one more time. Run it back.
Bad built frame, bad built frame. Bleach Blonde, Butch, better shut your trap, ain't got no game. Bleach Blonde, Butch, bad built shame, bad built shame. Whole lot of frontin', whole lot of frontin', all in my lane. Bleach Blonde, Butch, Bleach Blonde, Butch, Bleach Blonde, Butch, bad built frame, bad built frame. Bleach Blonde, Butch, Bleach Blonde, Butch, better shut your trap, ain't got no game. Bleach Blonde, Butch, Bleach Blonde, Butch.
Oh, that was from Marjorie Taylor Greene right there, Matt.
Is that a cane?
Oh, yeah. One of my followers sent me this about 3 years ago. They sent me, go wide. They sent me a Roland Martin unfiltered. So you see right here is Roland Martin, right? No, go to the three, number 3. So they got Roland Martin right here. Then they put unfiltered over here in gold. And then they got A5A right here as well. And so when we were playing that video, I meant to get, I wore my athletic pants. I meant to get a belt because they were smacking that ass. They were just smacking that ass of Marjorie Taylor Greene. And so I went ahead and got the cane because they were just like, beep. They were just, yeah. That's what was going on right there.
Now,
I told y'all, listen, I am creating a new segment on Roland Martin Unfiltered. It is going to be called, did Keenan have it ready yet, Kara? Damn, he ain't got it ready yet. Y'all, I'm announcing today, I'm creating a new segment on the show. It's called The Crockett Chronicles. It's called The Crockett Chronicles. So every time Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, they have one of these hearings, we're going to be sure to play the best of the shadiest, pettiest comments from my Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett in this new segment on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. It's called The Crockett Chronicles. Just letting y'all know. Matt, you gonna say something? Go ahead.
I'm really baffled at the fact that AI can make a song that sounds like somebody programmed drums on Ableton themselves. I mean, that sounds like a Dero track. I'm listening to it. I'm hearing ice cream paint job. I'm really baffled that AI is able to do that. I'm sure you're going to tell me that somebody took it and they, people do this on Instagram, social media. Somebody took it up, put drums under it. No, AI made that song, so we should have a conversation about AI and its capabilities.
No, we did. That was last week's Tech Talk when Isaac Hayes III was on, and we talked about how that's how AI is. Yeah, my man Keenan threw that together, and it turned out. Run it back!
Bad bill frame. Bleach blonde bush, better shut your trap. Ain't got no game. Bleach blonde bush, bad bill shame. Whole lot of frontin', all in my lane. Bleach blonde bush, bad bill frame. Bleach blonde bush, better shut your trap. Ain't got no game.
There you go. Now that's when Congresswoman Crockett gonna say, "Coma, give me my theme music."
It's funny because one of my IG friends, his name is King Wallonius. He's the creator of BBL Drizzy. He just came out with a Bleach Blonde song as well. So I'm looking.
Hold up. What's his handle?
King Wallonius. He's the one who created King Wallonius.
How the hell is spell Wallonius?
WILONIUS.
Ain't that like that's no regular ass spelling, Kelly?
No, I was trying to think it out. I'm trying to think it through. I can't
King Wallonius. First of all, it's got 2 L's.
It does? Okay.
Yeah, it got 2 L's. Okay.
So Metro Boomin took his song, sampled it, and that's the BBL Drizzy song that everybody's hearing right now.
Right. You said he came out with one of Bleach Blonde?
Yes. My mom just sent it to me.
Boom! Y'all, pull up the audio of my iPad.
Oh my God.
You all right?
I'm great. I'm great. That was wonderful. That was great. Shout out to King Wallonius.
Yeah, King Wallonius. That's a bop right there.
He's an amazing. He's a comedic songwriter, and his whole page is just full of bops like that. Like I said, he did BBL Drizzy. He's done that. He's just like this AI guru when it comes to songs and imaging and all of those things. And I've seen his stand up. He's come out to the DMV area for stand up stuff, and I mean, just incredible talent. And I'm excited that his page has been blowing up since the Drake Kendrick Lamar thing. I hope this takes him to the next level as well, because he deserves. He's really good. He's really good.
Hey, Michael, that sounds like a Motown song right there.
Yeah, it does. I was just looking at the 2022 midterm election results while we were listening to this music, and looking at Marjorie Taylor Greene. She won by her district. I think she got like 61% of the vote, something like that, 65% of the vote. So even I think she's in a pretty red district.
Yeah, she's in a heavily gerrymandered district. Remember, she ran against the brother who was the veteran,
right?
And her opponent this time is another brother. We had him on the show. So another brother who's running against her. But again, Republicans have the gerrymandered of these districts. But I think the smart play for Democrats is to mock her silly ass at every turn, because she is truly the second dumbest member of Congress behind Lauren Boebert.
And Lauren Boebert on recount, she won, if I remember correctly, by something like 546 votes.
Yeah, so trust me, she's scared. That's why she's running in a neighboring district, because she was gonna get a behind kick. Matt, real quick, final comment, Matt.
Well, first, I was really impressed by how authentic that horn section was for Motown. So that's what I was listening to. But my final comment on it is we should not allow this. These are lawmakers who have the fates of our lives in their hands with a lot of the bills that they pass. They should not be able to shirk that duty for political points. And that's what we're seeing. And my 4-year-old is showing me his tablet. So that's the end of my comment.
All right. All right, I'm going to go to a quick break. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network, the home of the, bad built, bleach blonde, butch body, something like that. Y'all know what it is. Matter of fact, you know what? We're going to play that song again before we go to the break. All right, I'll be back in a moment.
Bad bill frame, bleach blonde bush, better shut your trap, ain't got no game. Bleach blonde bush, bad bill shame, whole lot of frontin', all in my lane. Bleach blonde bush, bad bill frame, bleach blonde bush.
I wanted the people of Baltimore to hear it from me. I have done nothing wrong.
But I see that what you are trying to do is destroy this black woman for doing her job.
I have heard your calls for no justice, no peace. However, your peace is sincerely needed as I work to deliver justice on behalf of Freddie Gray.
Maryland was a force to be reckoned with. I was assuming this is all because of Freddie Gray, but it actually is much deeper than that.
Baltimore's top prosecutor, a woman named Marilyn Mosby, was indicted yesterday in the Eastern District of Maryland for perjury. Couldn't help but think about Donald Trump.
This is what you got to deal with when you are a black woman fighting for just causes in America.
Yeah, but just taking on the police, period. She's stepping on their toes. They want to cross her out of the system so she can't stand up for the preacher.
Reached in the pool and grabbed me and pulled me out.
Imagine if this were you. You would want people to stand in your corner.
I lost my car. I lost my job. I lost my marriage. And I almost lost my mind for a little while.
It is so much right now, Lord, and I'm just saying, why are you putting all of this on me? I'm about to break.
Oh,
Ooh, I love us. I love how we can just take things and make them benefit us. That's exactly what Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is doing after the Bleach Blonde, bad-built, butch body comment that went viral on Thursday. All right, so Crockett, she filed a trademark application for rights to the alliterative insult at Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene during a heated House Oversight Committee session. Now, Crockett posted this statement on social media. So we're going to drop a Crockett clapback collection. This collection will feature various swag that includes random things I've said. The money will go to ensuring that we have a Democratic House. Give me a little time, really get some swag online, etc. But B6 will drop first. Since Thursday, many songs have been circulating on social media, helping the phrase reach viral status. If you didn't hear it Friday, here's the RMU version.
Bad bill frame, bad bill frame. Bleach blonde bush, better shut your trap, ain't got no game. Bleach blonde bush, bad bill shame, bad bill shame. Whole lot of frontin', whole lot of frontin', all in my lane. Bleach blonde bush, bleach blonde bush, bleach blonde bush, bad bill frame, bad bill frame. Bleach blonde bush, bleach blonde bush, better shut your trap, ain't got no game.
And it's getting picked up by other genres.
It's been a while since I wrote a song, but there was no way I could let this one slip past me. She's a bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body, swinging for the fences, good God Almighty. A heat-seeking missile, too scared to debate, cries like a baby when she don't get her way. Yeah, she can dish it out, but she sure can't take it. Her whole damn life, she just fakes it to make it. Nobody cares what she has to say. Some new eyelashes wouldn't help her anyway, 'cause she's a bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body, swinging for the fences, good God Almighty. A heat-seeking missile, too scared to debate, cries like a baby when she can't get her way. Yeah, she's out there pushing their propaganda. Can't get it done, just blame it on Brandon. She loves to talk tough, throw around her weight. Oh, baby girl, don't even play, 'cause you're a bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body, swinging for the fences, good God Almighty. A heat-seeking missile, too scared to debate, cries like a baby when she can't get her way. Yeah, she cries like a baby when she don't get her way.
All right, everyone's in on it, and it looks like this one right here could be a hit for the summer.
Bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body. Bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body. Bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body. Butch body, butch body, butch body.
All right, and this is the latest one.
She's a bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body. She's a bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body. She's a bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body. And she better not talk about nobody. Marjorie Taylor Greene is built like a shake machine. Nick Nolte in the face, cereal box in the waist. She better learn her place, 'cause she's about to catch a case. Talk about a black woman's lash, she'll definitely whoop your ass. She better get her face right, 'cause she looks like a pack of Bud Light. Oh, yeah. Bad-built, butch body. She's a bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body. She's a bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body. And she better not talk about nobody.
Oh, Representative Jackson, I saw you. You're the one moving your head the most. We're going to start with you. Plus, these are your people. Talk to me a little bit about your take on what we are seeing going on here and how you feel about this line of T-shirts coming out.
Well, first off, I appreciate Representative Crockett with the clapback.
You just find it amazing, Candace, where we have a certain level of decorum that's expected to do the work of the people. And when you find your colleagues while you're trying to do the work of the people, during a committee hearing, mind you, cameras are rolling. When you have a colleague to simply try to attack you verbally, and it just broke all kind of decorum. It broke all kind of Robert rules. It just broke everything. And so I know there's a sentiment out there where they want to, use the Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high. But I appreciate Representative Crockett going right where Marjorie Taylor Greene is. And we mentioned this earlier, but it's worth repeating. As a father of 4 daughters and 3 sons, but I just want to focus on my 4 girls. And Malcolm X said May 22nd in 1962, he said, the most disrespected person in America is a Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is a Black woman. The most neglected person in America is a Black woman. And so I appreciate Representative Crockett standing up for herself at the time where she needed to stand up and say, enough is enough. And so I appreciate that clap back. And as a duly elected official, it was the right thing to do. I support it. And I will be buying my 6B's T-shirt for the summer.
Oh, she will make some money and raise it for the cause. Dr. Malval, I was looking at you. I'm not sure how to read your facial expressions. What are your thoughts about this T-shirt line, the clapback, and just this moment?
Well, first of all, I would have added another B up in there because there needs to be another B up in there. Y'all know what the B was. Secondly, I was in San Francisco over the weekend supporting London Breed, who is the president of the mayor of the San Francisco, mayor of San Francisco. And what occurred to me and what I said is that misogynoir means that Black women can be attacked at the top for our credentials, at the bottom for our eyelashes. People will attack us wherever we are. Thank brother for quote Malcolm about us being the least respected, unprotected, etc. But I'm just sitting here saying, I'm so glad I'm not a member of Congress because I would have walked over there and smacked that woman in the next week. It was ridiculous. It was absurd. It was unnecessary. And we don't deserve that. But we're in a space right now where Black women, whether you're Dr. Claudine Gay, whether you are Summer Lee, the sister from Pennsylvania, sisters are being attacked. And we have to be ready to fight back, to clap back. And so I'm loving Jasmine Crockett. I guess, first of all, nobody can ever tell what's going on with the look on my face, so don't try. You never know what's going on. But I appreciate her. But I'm also angry at the many ways that Black women are being assaulted. I am 70 years old. I've been out there. I think I published my first piece when I was 15 in the Journal of Black Poetry. And I've seen a lot of stuff. And what I'm seeing that hurts me so much is that so much has not changed. What if she talks about a Jewish woman or what her white colleagues? That would not have gone down. But everybody feels free to attack a Black woman, and I'm saying, oh, hell no.
Dr. Dibinga, I think it was interesting just to watch everything. AOC jumped in, and then there were phrases. One guy had a hearing aid. He couldn't hear everything, and I'm not sure if he could hear everything, if he could really understand the sentiment. What was your takeaway from everything that went on, and what are your thoughts about this T-shirt line?
Okay, so I have a little bit of a different take. There's a lot of this that I'm just not feeling. And I feel like there's some bigger implications that are being missed. I think I agree with Dr. Malveaux. Representative Crockett has every right to defend herself and clap back when people are coming at her. And the way that Black women are attacked, I mean, come on. So I'm with that. I'm with AOC, coming back as well. And that has to be happening. You do have to stand up to bullies. My larger concern is that when Greene drops these things, she fundraises off of it. Now people with the clapback, they fundraise off of it. People in Marjorie Taylor Greene's camp are paying no attention to any of this whatsoever because she's in a safe district. So, she's just raising money as well. Representative Crockett's like, are we raising money for, like she said, to promote the election and get out, hopefully, raise money for Democrats and so on and so forth. But I feel like the level of decorum has just stooped so low. And I just feel like we don't need to continually go down that level. Someone has to bring the energy up. Somebody has to bring the tone up. Somebody has to bring the level of decorum up. And I feel like you can do that and still respond in a way that shows that you're not going to be bullied in any way, shape, or form. But the fact of the matter is our camps are not listening to MTG and MTG's camps not listening to us. And so it just further puts people in their silos. I think that we also need to be mindful of not going down this rabbit hole of body shaming, not as relates to MTG, but just the idea of butch itself and the negative connotation that it has in our society overall. I'm not talking about MTG, but just in general. I don't know. That's not a shirt that I would be wearing, and so I feel like there are some better things that we could be doing, but I absolutely am all about Black women being able to defend themselves in a society where people are coming for them. But someone at some point has to be part of the group of people that's going to bring decorum back to that house, that's going to make people interested and want to run again and be representatives and the like. And I don't really see that happening right now. And that's the part of it that's disappointing. But I support Jasmine Crockett all the way, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Representative Jackson, I want to go back to you. It's tough being on that floor, all those cameras rolling, and you know what you've dealt with day to day with people when they're not on cameras. Being in that moment, do you think that you kind of maybe act a little different, being in that political venue as opposed to being someplace else? Does it make it different that you are playing a tough game, and maybe that's why she responded that way? Or how do you feel about what Dr. Dibinga said?
Yeah, no, I respect Dr. Dibinga, but the reality is when the camera's not rolling, it's even worse. It's worse, Candace. And so there was some history there. And if you had the opportunity here, Representative Crockett, in the last 24 hours, she's shared some of that history. It's been brewing for quite some time. But our constituents also, Dr. Dibinga, also hold us accountable for not showing up and fighting back for Michelle Obama. When they attacked Michelle Obama, how she looked. And right now, how they're attacking Ketanji Brown Jackson, right? And so we're sort of stuck in the middle where our constituents are asking us, hey, you all need to stand up for our Black women who are being attacked in the media. And so, yeah, I'm all for it because in hindsight of 2020, we should have did more to stand up for Michelle Obama when they were referring to her as a primate. Y'all remember they put her on a cover, right? The big afro, right? There was not enough energy coming from our community to stand up for Michelle Obama. And now they're attacking Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first. So, yeah, it is exhausting, Candace. And I think we do need to clap back. We still can maintain our level of professionalism. We still can maintain the quorum as we see fit. But when the camera's not rolling, y'all, it is worse. And it gets tight and it gets tense when we are in these rooms debating over legislation going back and forth.
Yeah, and as we saw, hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was the first one to go after somebody's looks and eyelashes. I'm not saying that everything is fair game, but she certainly opened up that door and someone walked right in, then slammed it after.
I wanted the people of Baltimore to hear it from me. I have done nothing wrong.
But I see that what you are trying to do is destroy this Black woman for doing her job.
I have heard your calls for no justice, no peace. However, your peace is sincerely needed as I work to deliver justice on behalf of Freddie Gray.
Maryland was a force to be reckoned with. I was assuming this was all because of Freddie Gray, but it actually is much deeper than that.
Baltimore's top prosecutor, a woman named Marilyn Mosby, was indicted yesterday in the Eastern District of Maryland for perjury. Couldn't help but think about Donald Trump.
This is what you got to deal with when you are a black woman fighting for just causes in America.
Yeah, but just take it on the police, period. She's stepping on their toes. They want to cross her out of the system so she can't stand up for the preacher.
Reached in the pool and grabbed me and pulled me out.
Imagine if this were you. You would want people to stand in your corner.
I lost my car. I lost my job. I lost my marriage. And I almost lost my mind for a little while.
It's just so much right now, Lord, and I'm just saying, why are you putting all of this on me? I'm about to break.
They trotted out these MAGA people, and it's always a pleasure to watch my Congresswoman, Jasmine Crockett, light that ass up.
This is so interesting. A couple of things. I'm just curious to know, as we're talking about lawyers and the obligations of lawyers, and whether or not maybe the former president has any idea of what good lawyer obligations look like. I'm just going to ask, we're not going to play. We're going to do Miss Winebanks. Have you heard of any of these lawyers? I've got Robert Shealy, Kenneth Chesborough, Jeffrey Clark, Matthew DePerno, John Eastman, Jenna Ellis, Michael Farino, Rudy Giuliani, Julia Halia. I got a long list. Have you heard of any of these people?
I have.
Are you aware as to whether or not any of them have faced criminal penalties?
Yes, and also been disbarred or suspended.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So they've had some issues, but these are the handpicked lawyers for Trump. I'm assuming that y'all have never been Trump lawyers, Mr. Trusty or Mr. Costello.
No, I was for a year.
Oh, you were? And you still have your bar card?
I'm sorry?
You still have your bar card?
Yeah, well, unless I get targeted for daring to represent a former president.
You have absolutely done a lot better than most that deal with him. So good for you. I also want to make sure that we talk about what two-tier really looks like. And Mr. Trustee, since you've been a prosecutor before, I'm curious to know, have you ever had a criminal defendant that had over 80 counts in 4 different jurisdictions and somehow was not held pretrial? I know that you talked in your opening about your interpretation of what speedy trial looks like, and it's really only for those that are held pretrial. And last time I checked, most of the time those people held pretrial, they don't have anywhere near 80 counts pending against them. But I'm curious to know, in your experience, have you ever had someone that had over 80 counts pending in 4 different jurisdictions and they were not held pretrial? Yes or no?
Well, no specific recall,
okay, all
but
right.
I could answer
That's
more
all
if you'll let me.
You told me no, and I understand because I hadn't either. So in addition to that, there's been a gag order, since we're going to talk about the pending trial that's going on right now. Have you ever had a defendant that violated a gag order and then you went to the judge and the judge didn't lock them up and they done it at least 10 times? I think it's 10. I'm losing count right now. Have you ever had somebody violate?
In 35 years, I had never seen a defendant gagged.
Okay. Not my question. So you've never
Well, it's hard to get to the second part if they're never
you've
gagged.
never had it. You're absolutely right. All right. So finally, when it comes down to intimidating witnesses, because maybe you haven't had gag orders, intimidating witnesses, have you ever had a defendant that you were prosecuting and they were intimidating witnesses and they didn't somehow end up in the clank for at least a day or two?
I've had criminal death penalty prosecutions based on witness retaliation. I'm very familiar with gang cases and mafia cases. Most of those defendants were already incarcerated when they would orchestrate some sort of obstruction.
Okay.
If there's provable physical violence-based obstruction, it certainly makes sense that they'd be incarcerated.
Thank you so much. And, you know, Mr. Hamilton, I don't want you to feel left out of this conversation. So I'm going to make sure I ask you some questions. Let me know if you're having problems answering them, because they really should be yes or no. let's see, you're the executive director for the America First Legal, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And America First Legal is a member of Project 2025, which is dedicated to creating the playbook for the next conservative administration and what it calls the Project Pillars, correct?
We are proud contributors to Project 2025.
Okay. And are you familiar with Project 2025's mandate for leadership?
In fact, I am.
Okay. And in fact, you wrote some of the sections of this mandate related to the DOJ, correct?
Sure did.
And the mandate outlines policy priorities for the next conservative president. Is that correct?
It does.
You've done a great job. I just want to let you know. All right, so let's walk through some of the provisions of the mandate. It calls for eliminating the Department of Education, eliminating the Department of Commerce, deploying the military for the use of domestic law enforcement against protesters under the Insurrection Act of 1807. It also has the repealing of Schedule F status for thousands of federal employees to allow a president to replace career civil servants with unqualified partisan loyalists. That's probably my favorite of it. It also prohibits the FBI from combating the spread of misinformation and disinformation, like Russia and China, who are actively trying to interfere with American elections. I don't know why or how anybody can support Project 2025. And I know that there was allegedly a joke about dictators and whether or not that's funny, but in the United States of America, dictatorships are never funny. And Project 2025 is giving the playbook for authoritarianism as well as the next dictator to come in. And I know that you are doing your jobs here by making sure that hopefully some juror turns on and finds some viral moment of you spewing more of the nonsense as it relates to the president. But as practicing lawyers or licensed attorneys, I hope that we can all agree that no one gets indicted because someone says so. There takes a grand jury, and the grand jury is comprised of American citizens that sit down and review evidence, and they make the determination. And when and if Trump is convicted, it will be a jury of his peers, and it won't be the president of the United States.
I thought you were going to get to a question somewhere in that 90 seconds for Mr. Hamilton after you went after his 2025. I will point out the Inspector General just released a report that said the FBI retaliated against whistleblowers. One of the reasons we do need some changes, but there was no question there. But Mr. Hamilton, if you want to give it some kind of response, you're more than welcome to do that.
Mr. Chairman, my only response would be to say that there are a great number of policy options that have been provided to any future conservative administration through Project 2025. And it's an attempt to restore the rule of law in this country. And I reject the Huffington Post style characterizations of the recommendations.
So, you know, it's always amazing, Lauren. Don't you love it? The contrast there, restoring the rule of law. Restoring the rule of law. Well, she just sat there and said how there is a double standard because these are the same people who don't like the rule of law being applied to the Cheetos man.
Yeah, they're not talking about restoring the rule of law. They're talking about using the judiciary to push their ideological agenda. And however they want to do that, really has nothing to do with specific law. It just has to do with whatever their ideological views are at any given moment. And they've had a plan for that for decades. And now they're trying to make the bureaucracy, the federal bureaucracy, ideological as well, which is outlined in 2025, Project 2025. I actually think that the Democratic Party needs to get out of the realm of being amazed by this or being surprised by this or going over this. When I say the Democratic Party, I mean the Democratic insiders. I'm not talking about the rank and file voter, okay, because rank and file voter does still need to be educated on Project 2025 and a lot of the things that the Congresswoman just brought up. But they need to get out of the realm of being shocked and get into the realm of what are we doing about it? And what's the plan on the other side against this? Because they know that this has been going on. We knew what Trump did the first time. We see what they're planning the second time. They're open and in the public about it. There is no secret about it. So they have to enter the realm of what is the plan? What is the plan? What is the offense? Instead of being on defense all the time and talking about the problem all the time, they've got to get on offense. And that hasn't happened yet. And that to me is a little bit worrisome. And I'm talking about the Democratic Party leadership when I say that, again, not the rank and file voter who's just waking up and finding these things out.
I wanted the people of Baltimore to hear it from me. I have done nothing wrong.
But I see that what you are trying to do is destroy this black woman for doing her job.
I have heard your calls for no justice, no peace. However, your peace is sincerely needed as I work to deliver justice on behalf of Freddie Gray.
Maryland was a force to be reckoned with. I was assuming this was all because of Freddie Gray, but it actually is much deeper than that.
Baltimore's top prosecutor, a woman named Marilyn Mosby, was indicted yesterday in the Eastern District of Maryland for perjury. Couldn't help but think about Donald Trump.
This is what you got to deal with when you are a black woman fighting for just causes in America.
Yeah, but just take it on the police, period. She's stepping on their toes. They want to cross her out of the system so she can't stand up for the preacher.
Reached in the pool and grabbed me and pulled me out.
Imagine if this were you. You would want people to stand in your corner.
I lost my car. I lost my job. I lost my marriage. And I almost lost my mind for a little while.
It is so much right now, Lord, and I'm just saying, why are you putting all of this on me? I'm about to break.
All right, we debut the first edition of the Crockett Chronicles. Of course, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett got all the folk talking on social media when she lit up a Marjorie Taylor Greene that late night session. She joins us right now. No, not crazy ass Marjorie Taylor Greene, but Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Boy, it's been quite a busy week for you.
It has.
Are you surprised how what the response has been?
I am. I never could have anticipated we'd have skits and songs of all genres and memes for days on days. But I think it's great. I think that people have been looking for something to unite them against this MAGA bully. And I think that this was the moment.
And you're right. I mean, she's out there trashing people. She's always trying to, front people. As soon as she came to Congress, was just quite disruptive. And so somebody need to clap back on her.
Absolutely. And she, I think, has gotten to the point that she felt like nobody was going to check her. And so, historically, these spats have been more so with the Republicans face to face. Like she had the spat with Boebert. She also has obviously had plenty of spats with her own caucus as she was trying to oust the speaker just the previous week. So she's constantly into it with people, but she's usually not crossed the line and crossed over to actually trying to say something to a Democrat's face, except for obviously the things that she's done to the president during this most recent State of the Union and the State of the Union before that. But I don't know that she's ever met a black woman like me. I can't say very much about her upbringing or anything like that. But the fact that she said what she said and sat back and was like, I'm fine with what I did, I could not let that rest. So if she wasn't going to be forced to apologize or be kicked out, then I was going to have to make the chairman think about what the parameters were going to be going forward and let him know that I got some choice words that I could deliver if I chose to.
And then you have the people who, you should have, it's about decorum, you shouldn't have done that. And look, I get it. I always talk about Michelle Obama says when they go low, we go high. I'm like, nah, you got to go here. If they going to hit you in the knee, hit them in the damn shin. And they going to hit you in the ankle, hit them in the bottom of the feet. Because you can't play footsie with these people. They don't care about norms. They don't care about values. And so it's like, you know what? If that's how you want to swing, let's swing.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're absolutely right. And, this obviously is not something that has been done that often, if ever, when it comes to MTG. And so, in that moment, all I was thinking about was, how is it that I can claim that I'm going to represent almost 1 million people and fight for them every day and sit here and I won't even fight for myself? And you don't know how these things will hit. You don't know how your district will take it. But I can tell you that I've received plenty of encouraging messages directly from the district. And so, but ultimately you find out really how your district feels about how you've governed when you get to the ballot box. So, ultimately, my primary will take place almost 2 years from now. So I don't even know if they will still be talking about this. But I feel confident that my district is okay with the fact that I, as a Black woman serving in a Black district, decided to stand up for myself.
Well, I'm a voter in that district, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Let's go to our panel. Rebecca.
Congresswoman, thank you so much for being here today. 2 quick questions. One, what was going through your mind as it was happening in real time? And then my second question, a little bit more serious, is that you are in the seat of the late great Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson. You're finishing up your first term. What do you want your legacy in Congress to be?
Absolutely. Thanks for the questions. So my first thoughts were not as eloquent. I will be honest. They were not. And, when somebody comes at you wrong, you always have something that you're ready to say. So honestly, my first thought was, if you had some lashes, you may still have your husband. That was like my first thing. But I restrained myself and said, I'm going to let the process work. And before I could say, we need to go ahead and take our words down, AOC jumped in. I appreciate my sister. She jumped in almost immediately. And as y'all could tell, AOC was fired up as well. And what y'all didn't know is Ayanna, my big sister, was sitting off camera and she was about ready to handle some folk as well. So I had plenty of good backup for her trying to come at me. And so as AOC and Jamie were dealing with Comer and were dealing with the advice of his parliamentarian, I was of the impression that we won. For me, a win is her not being in committee because we can get work done. Also, a win is her having to apologize, which, of course, she never wanted to do to a Black woman specifically. So both of those were fine with me. She didn't have to do either one of those, though. And that's when I decided, and I looked over at her and I was like, you Bleach Blonde. Like, I had all of this, and so I was writing it down and trying to get Comer's attention so that he would call on me so that I could not violate the rules, but show her that I could cut her deeper without ever talking to her. So that was what was going through my mind and how it all played out. As far as my legacy, I want my legacy to be one of fighting for the people. It's what I've always done, from being a public defender to being a civil rights lawyer. I have always pushed back and tried to make sure that I could open doors of opportunity for people that look like me to bust through and do greater things than I could have ever imagined. I talk to young people all the time about the fact that I really want them to take my seat. I want them to go in and be the amazing people that they are in this generation. And so I don't plan to stay for decades. I have no aspirations to do that whatsoever. But instead, I make sure that we have tons of interns. We make sure that we're training them up, educating them. And my hope is that I won't be representing this small fraction of a fraction of a fraction of black women that have served in Congress, but instead the numbers start to be more reflective of what the numbers are in this country.
Scott?
Yeah, hey, Congresswoman, A. Scott Bolden. You know, as a lawyer, questions can be more piercing than statements. And while most people say that you called her that, you actually put that in a question to Comer. I didn't miss that as a fellow lawyer, which in my opinion was just brilliant. It's like going in the back door if the judge won't let you go in the front door. So I admire you for that. I want you to talk about how difficult it is. Like, where do you go from here? and how difficult it is to work in Congress to get things done for your district or for all of us when you really don't have a viable political party on the other side. Democracy needs two strong parties, and you're in Congress and you got to work with people to get stuff done. But the Republicans don't seem to be interested in getting stuff done. They seem to be interested in kind of power and winning and going after the other side. So can you just kind of talk about, one, where you go from here, and two, how do you matriculate in that very difficult environment, notwithstanding the irrelevance of Congresswoman or MTG?
Yeah, so great question. And I'll be honest and tell you that I have absolutely built better coalitions than MTG has probably ever dreamed of. So while I'm in the minority, just last week, or actually, I think it was the same week. So yeah, so last week, I was able to get a bill out of oversight committee of all committees in a bipartisan way, because it was just good legislation. It is still difficult to get good legislation out, but I understand where the middle resides. Right now, one of my best partners is actually my senior senator from Texas. You know, Cornyn approached me and said, I don't want you to have to go and look for a Democrat to carry the bill if you are actually coming up with legislation that is good for Texans. And so he's carrying a number of my bills and has actually been a huge champion of some of my legislation. So, you know, I understand how government works, and I want it to work in any way that it can. Right now, we're in obviously divided government, which means I won't get some of maybe my landmark legislation passed, but I still want to get things done. And there are still a few Republicans that want to get things done. They are becoming lesser and lesser by the day. But I think that I've been somewhat effective. We also were able to get monumental legislation into the FAA Reauthorization Act that really flew under the radar, thank God. But this was funding to make sure that hopefully we can increase the number of African Americans and Hispanics that are entering aviation, which can be very expensive, but can obviously be very lucrative. And so we set up a situation where basically there will be full rides for those attending land grant HBCUs as well as HSIs to go into aviation. In this crazy anti-DEI environment, we were able to get that done because we were working with everybody that mattered. So I do want people to know that we are working. This is just one of those aberrations. But even in the midst of somebody coming at me, I can defend myself. And honestly, I've had Republicans coming up to me. Now, they probably won't go on Fox News and say anything. But, you know, one of the Republicans today was like, I love your lashes. Like, I mean, you know, they're good. Like, they're not mad at me. I've gotten winks and thumbs up from like female Republicans. Like, everyone was waiting on somebody to go in on her.
So what do you say or do, like when you go to you run into Marjorie, you run into Greene on the hall or in the bathroom, other than putting your hands on her? What do you say? What do you think? Or do you just ignore her? I'm very practical in my practice. I mean, it just got to be a difficult circumstance, but, you know, what do you do? Or have you? Have you run into her since that?
Yeah, you're tripping.
That was a compound question, forgive me.
No, we don't communicate. We never really. And because Democrats sit on one side, Republicans sit on another, we have different doors to enter, whether we're entering the floor or whether we're entering the committee. So you don't necessarily have to interact like that. But today was my first committee hearing back in oversight, and she did not show up. And it's my understanding that she didn't show up to her Homeland Committee either today. So I'm not really sure where she is, but committee was a lot smoother without her. So she, as I'm concerned, I think everybody was happy. So yeah.
Right. Well, you know, she's got something really unique. She seems to have pissed off in a very divided Congress and a very divided political status in America, that she's pissed off Democrats and Republicans. That's got to be a first, in my opinion, given how divided we are as a country.
She has, but nevertheless, I think I was told that she's their 5th highest fundraiser. The people that are higher than her are all in leadership. And so she does this for dollars, nothing else. This is the only reason that she does it. And so it's really disappointing that her behavior is consistently rewarded in the form of money. But when we look at polling, she actually polls the lowest of any Republican. She polls lower than the speaker. She polls lower than everybody. So when you look in a consensus type world, honestly, the majority of people do not like her in this country, but she has a solid group of people that will put their $2 and $3 behind her versus, you know, having a similar group of people that love, say, some of the Democrats and will put their $2 and $3 and $5 behind us.
Yeah, sad but true. But thank you for being there for all of us.
I understand that you have trademarked Bleach Blonde Bad Built Butch Body. True?
Yes, so we filed for the trademark, and just to be clear, we did not file in my personal capacity. I filed under the campaign, and that was because this is becoming something that's in demand. And so the idea of people profiting, that's not really what I'm doing. I'm definitely not profiting in Congress. It's a poor existence, to be clear. But you know, I'm a lawyer. Some people think I just play one on TV, but in real life, I'm a lawyer, and I was a business major as well, undergrad. And so with recognizing the demand, for me, this was an opportunity to turn lemons into lemonade and make sure that what she meant for bad, God meant for good, and we could actually use the money based on the demand that people are making on these T-shirts and all the other merch to actually put that towards my reelection, along with me being able to support other candidates to make sure that we take the House.
All right, then. Well, it has been quite an interesting week. And so I saw, last question, out of all the different ones you've seen and heard, your favorite?
I don't know. There's so many good ones. There's so many good ones. One of my colleagues said she was in the DR this weekend and they started playing one of the songs. And then I got a video this morning because they were playing it on the radio this morning. They were playing a couple of versions on the radio this morning in Dallas. So I'm excited about the music. Keep the music coming, especially since it's so educational. But yeah, this gives people something to look forward to, and hopefully people are recognizing that it's not just the presidency, but it's looking all the way down the ballot. It's looking at who's running for U.S. rep and state rep and things like that. And hopefully they will be encouraged to do some research and get out there and vote for great candidates.
Well, it was quite interesting because like the first day, Keenan on my team, he put together one with AI real quick. Y'all had that one ready? Okay, he did a remix. Okay, play his remix.
Bleach blonde, bad built, butch body, shut your trap. Jealous of my style, cause you know I got that snap. Talking loud, online, you ain't built for that scrap. Keep your distance, I ain't dealing with your cap. You think you slick, tryna flex with your fake gold. All that botched up, surgery, you look old. Bleach blonde, she died, roots showing real bold. Ain't got no shape, but acting tough, man, you cold. Whispers in the crew, you know you can't relate. Bad built, botched up, jealousy's your trait. Can't fake the
All right, so he put that one together. Did you hear the gospel one?
Yes, I love it. It's so amazing.
Y'all roll that one. Roll that one.
She got a bleach blonde, bad blue butch body. She got a bleach blonde, bad blue butch body. That Marjorie Taylor Greene looked like a lima bean. I forgot she had a bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Representative Jasmine's about that life. She about that, and she looks like she can really fight.
I didn't know.
An amazing politician, ain't got no competition. Ain't worried about a bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Marjorie tried to cause a scene, forgot she had a butch body. Marjorie Marjorie tried to cause a scene. Forgot she had a butch body. Marjorie tried to cause a scene. Forgot she had a butch body. Marjorie tried to cause a scene. Forgot she had a butch body. Black women with lashes, they won't give you gashes. Black women with lashes, they won't give you gashes. Black women with lashes, they won't give you gashes. Don't come for us unless we sit for you. She got a bleach blonde bad built butch body. She got a bleach black built butch body. A bleach blonde bad built butch body. She got a bleach black built butch body.
Did one.
Say it again.
Isaac Hayes' son did one.
Oh, I know. It was called the clapbacks. Roll it.
Yes. He did one.
Roll the clapbacks.
She's a bleach blonde, bad built butch body. She's a bleach blonde, bad built butch body. She's a bleach blonde, bad built butch body. And she better not talk about nobody. Marjorie Taylor Greene is built like a shake machine. Nick Nolte in the face, cereal box in the waist. She better learn her place, cause she's about to catch a case. Talk about a black woman's lash, she'll definitely whoop your ass. She better get her face right, cause she looks like a pack of Bud Light. Oh yeah, bad built butch body. She's a bleach blonde, bad built butch body. She's a
probably the one. So that's that old school sound. The brother King Wallonius, I gotta admit.
That one. That one is so. That's so good.
Yo, I was flying to Palm Springs for Anthony Anderson's 6th annual Celebrity Golf Classic on Saturday. Let me just say, I probably had that playing at least an hour on the plane. Roll it. I don't have that. How y'all don't have that? That was one of the first ones.
I know.
What is wrong with y'all? I see, Congresswoman, I told the staff, pull all of them. I told them, pull all of them. But see, it's I don't want all this whining y'all in my ear right now don't mean nothing. But yeah, but guess what? I'm always prepared. So yeah, roll it. Just pull the audio up. How y'all ain't have it ready?
No, this is a good one. Oregon getting it.
Version.
The country version was really good, but I love the ones where Comer is like a wood now.
Y'all got any one of those in there?
Oh my goodness.
All right, let me hear that one. I need to hear that one. First of all, let's see that one too. Go ahead, go.
Bleach blonde, bad built, bleach blonde, bad built, bleach blonde, bad built, butch body.
What now?
Sweet.
What now?
Swing the wing makes gone.
Bleach blonde, bad built, bleach blonde, bad built, bleach blonde, bad built, bush body.
What now?
Bleach blonde, bad built, bleach blonde, bad built, bleach blonde, bad built, bush body. I'm just curious. Bad built, bad built, bad built, bad built, bad built, bad built, bush body.
What now?
Bad built, bad built, bad built, bad built.
Oh my God.
Bad built, bush body, bush body.
Yo, the
Bleach blonde, bad built,
creativity,
bleach blonde,
the creativity of people is amazing. This thing has taken off quickly.
Yes. Yeah. I'm appreciative. It's great. I, you know what, for the first time in a long time, a lot of people that haven't been engaged in politics, they're engaging. So again, what she meant for bad, God meant for good. So I'm excited that people now are like, wait a minute, now what channel can I watch the hearings on?
Well,
tuning into C-SPAN.
Well, and here's the deal. We carry those hearings as well, and so I've already made it clear to our folk. Every time there's one of these hearings, and you look, you only get 5 minutes, right?
Yes.
All right. So every time there's a hearing, we gonna have the full 5 minutes and run it on the show. And I told Carol, I said, because look, I've had an open invitation to every CBC member since I launched 5.5 years ago, and most of them never take it up. We are more than welcome to have a weekly segment called the Crockett Chronicles, talking about whatever you want to talk about. So all you got to do, just have your people tell Carol, hey, this week I can come on Wednesday, this week I can come on Friday. And so that's every single week we can have the Crockett Chronicles to talk about what's popping. And of course, we having fun, joking, but there's also real policy stuff we can talk about. So we're looking forward to making that happen.
Absolutely. I appreciate you.
All right. Congresswoman, hold up. I got real quick. Y'all pull the photo up of that fake Delta in Georgia. Congresswoman, did you see this? Did you see this here? This woman right here is a state representative in Georgia. Old girl has been fronting, saying she's a Delta. The Deltas put out a letter. Okay, apparently she ran for re-election. And she was running against a Delta. Can't nobody see that letter, y'all. She was running against a Delta. Well, what happened was the Deltas had to put out a letter stating she was not. They have no records whatsoever to support her being a member. Now, there was a woman she was running against who is a Delta, and they said she was a certified member of Delta Sigma Theta. So now you a Delta, how you feel about a homegirl down in Georgia fronting that she's a Delta?
She clearly knows nothing about Delta, because one thing the Delta does is stand on business. Baby, you was never going to get too far, not in the public limelight with that fraud going on.
Now, she won. She won, but the Deltas have put out a letter saying they can't find no evidence anywhere that homegirl. She literally she literally posted this on Delta's Founders Day. Straight up.
No. But I'm saying there's no way you can be in the public life and Delta not know who you are and be clear whether or not you're a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Delta knows me very well. They know. They got all my records. So I don't even know why she tried to play with Delta. And that's got to be embarrassing, because it's got to make her constituents think, if you would lie about something like this, what else are you lying about?
That was absolutely crazy. That was absolutely crazy. So, woo, that was a trip right there. Congresswoman Crockett, I appreciate it. My parents at my house here in Virginia, because my niece graduated, so they kicking it. So I'm sure, because
Send them my love.
Because they constituents too, since they living at my house. So they are always down there working the campaign. So I'm sure they quite enjoyed this segment.
I appreciate them.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
See you later.
I wanted the people of Baltimore to hear it from me. I have done nothing wrong.
But I see that what you are trying to do is destroy this black woman for doing her job.
I have heard your calls for no justice, no peace. However, your peace is sincerely needed as I work to deliver justice on behalf of Freddie Gray.
Maryland was a force to be reckoned with. I was assuming this was all because of Freddie Gray, but it actually is much deeper than that.
Baltimore's top prosecutor, a woman named Marilyn Mosby, was indicted yesterday in the Eastern District of Maryland for perjury. Couldn't help but think about Donald Trump.
This is what you got to deal with when you are a black woman fighting for just causes in America.
Yeah, but just take it on the police, period. She's stepping on their toes.
They want to cross her out of the system so she can't stand up for the preacher. Reached in the pool and grabbed me and pulled me out.
Imagine if this were you. You would want people to stand in your corner.
I lost my car. I lost my job. I lost my marriage. And I almost lost my mind for a little while.
It is so much right now, Lord, and I'm just saying, why are you putting all of this on me? I'm about to break.
I just want to go over a few things that are concerning and alarming to me. I don't know if you're familiar, but have you ever heard of Project 2025?
I've read about that, Congresswoman.
Okay. And there are some things indicated in Project 2025 that are quite concerning to me. And I want to talk about a few of those topics because this hearing almost feels like a Project 2025 hearing. One of those topics is diversity in the workplace. The agenda includes making sure that the next conservative administration dismantles DEI apparatus by eliminating various chief diversity officer positions, et cetera. And you engaged in an exchange earlier with one of my colleagues, and I don't know if you recall, but it was hitting me a little differently as a Black woman sitting here, because it almost seemed as if you either get diversity or you get qualifications. It did not seem as if my colleague understood that someone can be diverse and qualified. And it is why you have people like me that get very frustrated, not just in the halls of Congress, but in general in this country. Because as I'm sitting here and there seemed to be this question of you're either diverse or you're qualified, all I could think about was the fact that I currently hold an honorary doctorate. I also hold a Juris Doctorate. I also hold a bachelor's. I also technically hold the rank of Lieutenant Colonel in the Civil Air Patrol. And I actually practiced law for almost 2 decades, in addition to serving on various boards, in addition to being a prior state lawmaker. And there are those that would make some people believe that because I happen to be Black and or a woman, that somehow, even though I can rattle off all the qualifications in the world, my Blackness makes me unqualified. My question to you is that the attitude that you subscribe to?
Absolutely not, Congresswoman. And in fact, what we do at OPM every day is look to knock down barriers that are keeping qualified people like yourself, qualified people from all across America for pursuing federal jobs. Some of the things that we've done, for example, are eliminate unnecessary degree requirements and assess people based on the skills that they have and not just where they learned them. We have opened the doors to recruiting from HBCUs, HSIs, minority-serving institutions, populations that may not have thought of the federal government as an employer before. And we have a broad definition of diversity. There are rural populations that have in the past never considered the federal government as a potential employer because the offices were too far away and they would have to get up and leave from their hometown. Now there are some opportunities that they can stay right in that rural hometown and work for the federal government, let alone the amazing military spouses around this country who have to pick up and move in their jobs when their spouse is redeployed. Trying to tap in and keep that talent in government has been a big priority of ours.
Thank you so much for giving a plug to the Readiness Act that this committee did just pass out last week in a bipartisan way. But you know, it's interesting because we've had so many conversations about telework and the evils of telework. And it seems to be this other false equivalency that if you telework, that means you're not working, instead of this idea that people are actually just working and they're not working in the building that is being paid for by the federal government. In fact, my mom is on telework, and my mom is absolutely one of the smartest people that I know. And so it always hits me a little differently every time we dump on those that are teleworking for the federal government. But interestingly enough, we're not allowed to telework here. We have to show up. There is no remote voting anymore. But even though we show up, are you aware of the fact that this has been the most unproductive Congress in the history of the Congress?
Congressman, I'll leave that judgment to
Okay,
members
well,
of
I'll
Congress
tell
and the
you it
media.
is, and I've got some numbers for you. So to me, you can show up and still not do a daggone thing. And so it's rich that we have so many opinions to give you and to tell you how to do your job, but seemingly we're not doing ours. Thus far, only 1% of legislation that has been introduced has been passed in this Congress versus the last Congress, where it was 6 points higher, and the Congress before that 6 points higher, and the Congress before that 7 points higher. There is no other Congress that has been least productive. And guess what? The last Congress, they could vote remotely, and somehow they figured out how to get it done. So I would just say that we need to be very mindful of when we decide to throw stones, because we may.
Fanbase is pioneering a new era of social media for the creator economy. This next generation social media app with over 600,000 users is raising $17 million, and now is your chance to invest. For details on how to invest, visit startengine.com/fanbase or scan the QR code. Another way we're giving you the freedom to be you without limits.
You know, it's been interesting as I've sat here, and so many people from across the aisle have stated that this is a bipartisan bill, yet the Democrats keep saying that we're not going to vote for it. So it doesn't sound bipartisan. But I also would argue that it's not even a partisan bill, because ultimately what I want to get to is the math of how you get this across the line. So I don't even think it's a partisan bill. In fact, I think it's nothing more than a stand for farm bills of the past. And so with that, let me just get right down to some math. There's something in this bill that I think if you ask every member of this committee, that they can say, you know what, I agree with that one part. Someone can find something, but that's not the definition of bipartisanship. Bipartisanship means that we are looking at making sure that those things that are at the core of who we are. And when we say things like we're fighting for SNAP benefits, I do want to be clear that me fighting for SNAP benefits isn't about my district. I mean, obviously it is, but at the end of the day, so many members have said, my district, my district, my district, my district, my district. When we write a farm bill, it is for everyone in the United States of America. And just to clarify, when it comes to SNAP benefits specifically, rural America uses more SNAP benefits than urban America. And right now, I serve an urban district. The majority of my Republican colleagues serve rural districts. So when I say that I'm fighting for a bill that includes making sure that people in this country don't go hungry, I'm not saying that just to say that this is about Texas 30. I'm saying that to say that this is about all of us. So I am not just fighting for my constituents, I'm fighting for yours too. And that's all we're asking for. And ultimately, if we really want to make sure that there's a bipartisan farm bill, then you will absolutely have the opportunity to do that by making sure that we can protect America's safety net. And let me be clear, I had a chance to drive a tractor trailer in my district too. So I want y'all to know, as urban as my district is, I've been able to climb up on one as well. That means that I've got farmers in my district as well. And when it comes down to it, I know that the average American who hasn't necessarily worked on a farm probably doesn't realize that you just will a crop and in a day it sprouts up. But instead, they have to make plans, and to decide that you're going to pull this money out of the ecosystem. It's not just about the people that will go hungry, but it's also about our farmers and our ranchers and our producers, and them being able to adequately prepare for making sure that they can take care of the American people. Now, I said that I was going to have a little conversation about math. And when we start talking about math, the reason that I say that this isn't bipartisan or partisan is that we all know that there are certain people on the Republican side, and I'm not saying in this committee, that have never, ever voted for a farm bill. They never have. And at least one of them serves on the Rules Committee. Now, if we look at just this term, and I'm a freshman, if we think about the math, every single bill that we've had to put up on suspension, we know that that takes 2/3. If we can't even get the Democrats on this committee to support this bill out of committee, this bill doesn't even make it to the point that you can say, listen, we passed a bill out of the House, Senate, now come to the table. If you really want to increase your leverage and make sure that we do right by everyone that is impacted by the Farm Bill, which is everyone in this country, that means that we decide that we actually are going to negotiate and actually say, hey, Democrats, we know that these are the things that you just won't give in on. And we've got our things that we won't give in on, but we will work together and make sure that if this bill has to pass on suspension, that we will do it. You will get 2/3. And honestly, every single thing that we've been successful for thus far in this session, the 2/3 has been supported by the Democrats. The Democrats have held it down and made sure that it got done, and made sure that those pieces of legislation, those important pieces of legislation, whether it was foreign affairs or otherwise, that it got to the Senate and that it was taken care of. We're willing to do the work just like our colleagues did on the NDAA, but this is not the way. Thank you, all yield.